Hey guys, what's going on? So I wanted to go over something really quick because I was just having a conversation with someone and I was trying to get this point across and they didn't really understand it. So for my newer business owners, this is something that completely changed the way that I think about business. And I think it could be significantly helpful or very helpful for somebody. So there's two different models here, right? Everybody wants to charge what they're worth. I hear this all the time, and I always got the advice of charge more, etc. So one of the reasons, and this is another reason why it's a good plan to actually maybe leverage credit if you can to set yourself up for success in the future, especially if you've already put the time in to get better on the back end or whatever it is that you're fulfilling on. This is mainly for a month-to-month recurring business. So let's say you spent a 6-month period where you're like, you know what, I'm going to go all in for 6 months. We're going to, maybe it's leverage all the money we have or leverage credit, whatever it might be. We're going to spend $10,000 per month on marketing to get signups. And there's two different scenarios here. Scenario number one, we're going a low ticket recurring model. We're going a slightly higher ticket. I would call this mid ticket actually, a more mid ticket recurring model here. And let's just say you have a marketing agency because it's a very easy example to use, but you can insert industry, insert price, etc. This is why it's very important to make sure that you really put time into the value that you provide and match that with the price, and then get that price to make sense to the prospect overall. So you have a low ticket. Actually, let's go here first. Let's say you have a price of $1,200 a month. This is relatively standard, I'd say, monthly price for most newer marketing agencies, I would say. You spend $10,000 a month. You sign up 15 people. Total signups over 6 months would be 90. LTV of those customers is about 3 months, which is about average for marketing agencies, unfortunately. And then your LTV is going to be 3,600. Cost per acquisition 666, which means that's not a good number. Let's make this 67. I don't like that. $667. Basically, that's how much money it costs to actually acquire a customer. So that's what you have to spend on marketing. And then total investment, you spent $60,000. And your projected revenue is $324,000. So great, right? And one of the reasons why this is important is because this, obviously, when you see that number $324,000, you're like, oh, great. But the recurring revenue stacks up over time, end on end on end. So on the front end, you're seeing the amount of money that you make. So 15 times 1,200 is the amount that you actually make, and you're getting about a 2x ROI in this scenario here. The business is still very scalable. That's great. And you can grow a business with that model specifically. But there's not as much profit or you get a little bit of profit on the front end, which is a lot more sexier, and people will actually, even if they know that the long game is a smarter game to play, they will still stay stuck in this trap, and eventually they're going to run into a bottleneck and they're not going to know why. And most people, after they've ran it one way for a long period of time, they're not going to want to change the way they do things. Now you have scenario number two. Let's say you have a lower ticket recurring model. Let's say theoretically you could provide nearly the same amount of value, right, over a period of time as you would in this model, but you charge half the price, which sounds absolutely insane, right? But in this model, you're spending the same amount of money, $10,000 per month over a period of 6 months. Your price is $600 per month. You're inevitably going to sign up more people, right, because you're making the barrier of entry a little bit lower. Total number of signups is 120. Your customer LTV is 9 months instead of 3 months because it's almost a no-brainer, right? It's half the price. You're getting the same amount of value, and you're not. I don't like saying commoditize in this scenario because you're commoditizing with intention. It's much different if you're like, oh my God, I'm bad at sales, lower the prices to make it easier for myself. But if you're commoditizing and lowering prices with intention, it's different. So now you have a customer LTV of 9 months, which is an LTV of $5,400 per each person. You have a cost per acquisition of $500, right? So you're breaking even on the front end. It's not as sexy because you don't have an ROI on the front end, right? So that month you spent $10,000, you made $10,000, you have no money to show for it, which isn't sexy. But the longevity is what's sexy. So the total investment is $60,000. That's the same. The projected revenue is $648,000 at the 6-month mark of every client. So the amount of what we can just do the math really quick. If you take 120 clients after a period of 6 months, 120 times, so you have $60,000 of monthly recurring revenue. So you spent $60,000 total in your investment towards the marketing. You have $60,000 of monthly recurring revenue. So you could turn everything off, right? You could turn all of the advertising off, stop spending $10,000 a month, whatever it might be, just fulfill on your current clientele. They're going to stay with you for a period of 9 months, and you have $60,000 of monthly recurring revenue that is coming in, and you know it's in over a period of time, it'll become more predictable because you know those people are going to stay with you on average for at least 9 months. So now you have this game that's a little bit longer term. And where it gets cool is what if you can turn the 9-month LTV into 18 months? Each customer is worth significantly more. It's not just about the price on the front end or liquidating your advertising costs all the time. Sometimes you need to play the long game. You need to be intentional with the way that you commoditize and charge. Hopefully this helps. I was just thinking about this earlier because I was trying to get this point through to somebody, and it finally clicked, and there was a little epiphany there. So if you are a business owner and a new business owner, hopefully this does the same for you.